I'm here with Kate, Joseph, and Alex, and they're the organizers of this year's Life Chain. Kate, are you satisfied with the numbers you got this year?
I am. I think that it was a good turnout. We didn't have any less than we did in past years, so it was pretty good.
How many turned out approximately?
90 about 90 people.
Wow, that's pretty good. And Joseph, I heard a lot of people honking their horns and other people using foul language. Is this typical at these events?
Oh, absolutely. We get support from our side, and we get a lot of support from the other side too. And sometimes it's nice, sometimes not so nice. But I guess it's good that people get going about this, and that's the best thing, is getting the conversation going again.
And I hear this year there was an act of vandalism. What happened there?
We had someone come and rip up some of our signs. We have extra signs in case people show up late, and they vandalized and ripped those signs up. But luckily, one of my fellow pro-life people was able to stop him before he did too much damage.
And Alex, how many years have you been doing this now?
Probably, I'd say about 5 or 6. Probably about 5, for sure.
And I understand the three of you are involved in a pro-life group for students, is that right?
Yeah, Joseph is the chairperson, and Kate and I are the co-vice chair people of Thunder Bay Students for Life.
And how is that group going?
It's going fantastically. We have lots of events. We have a pumpkin pie drive coming up for the month of October, and our goal is to get to Ottawa for March for Life, sorry. And so I think the group is going really well.
How many people are going to the March for Life?
We don't have a set number yet. We're aiming for about a dozen.
That's great, and on behalf of St. Gabriel's, I want to thank all of you. I understand there was an act of vandalism here today. What exactly happened?
When I arrived here, I arrived about 10 minutes after the event had started. Everybody was already lined up on the street, and when I went to get my sign, which was on the grass, on the ground, there was a car sitting there, and so I looked, and I thought at first that it was two fairly young people. I thought, oh, they're going to join us, and there was a young woman in the car, and a man reaching for a sign. And then right in front of me, he grabbed his sign, he tore it in half and threw it on the ground, and so I said, hey, you can't do that. And I got between him and the signs, and then the woman in the car said something about, well, you shouldn't be having this message here. And I said, hey, it's a free country. So anyway, he got a hold of another sign and tore it, but I managed to scoop up the signs and to bring them elsewhere. And other people heard what was happening at that point, because the two of them were using quite colorful language, and so other people came, and they were in a discussion or argument when I left about whether or not an abortion actually kills a child. He was arguing, the man who ripped up the signs was arguing, it's not a human being, it's not a baby, it's just a fetus. So that's what happened, and then I went and stood on the street, and some other people carried on discussing with him.
Have the police been called?
Yes, they have been. Yes, they have been. The organizers did call the police, and I know that because they asked me for some specific information.
Did you have a description of the vehicle and a license number?
Somebody did catch it, I understand, and so the police do know the vehicle license number.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And why are you pro-life, sir?
Well, I believe that everyone has a right to life, and if we don't make a fight, who's going to do it? It's up to each one of us to make a decision to stand for something, and life is a good place to start. And I think this is important for our country. Families and children are the fabric of our society, so it's a good place to start.
I heard a lot of people honking horns and other people yelling. Is this typical? Is this your first time out here, and is this typical, this kind of reaction?
Yep, pretty much. I've been here the last 3 years. Usually you get the finger, or you'll get people giving you the thumbs up or the thumbs down. But you're getting a reaction nonetheless, and it's good. It's making people think, and that's what we got to do. We've got to get people thinking about abortion and how wrong it is.
Did you notice more reaction this year than in past years?
Not so much. I think we're in a very good place here when we do this, and we get good exposure, and a lot of people are driving by, and pretty much the same every year.
Okay, thank you very much, Trevor. I'm here with Father Francisco Blazik. Father Francisco, there aren't too many priests out here today. Why do you think that is?
It is hard to say. I was always determined even to stand where others don't stand, and the weakness and all that the wishy-washy mentality and even theology that was lately accepted. I don't say that it's the theology of the church, but yes, it makes us even afraid that if I stand for something, I would lose friends or I would lose popularity, and there will be not enough collection, and so it is pushing so many priests back. And finally, the teaching of the church is this: the truth is this, that yes, abortion is wrong, and we have to stand for it without thinking about the consequences.
How many years have you come out to this event, Father?
It is from the very beginning. It is already some 7 or 8 years. I don't remember exactly when we have started, but it is already a few years, and I was here every year.
Do you promote this event at your church?
Yes, I promote it wherever I go, and there are not many who want to hear it, and maybe they even hear it and probably even approve it, but still, from the approval to be here or to be a bold witness, there is still a long path, and so many, yes, they sympathize with us. We see even that support from the cars and from the population, but to stand up and be witnesses, it still does not happen. But we cannot be discouraged. See, there were always the minority that was setting in a tone and giving light, and the rest, even if they follow in silence, it is good.
Are you going to encourage more of your brother bishops to come out next year?
Brother bishops.
Brother priests.
Oh yes, I was speaking about it how many times, but let's see. So we have other activities where it is also difficult to find the priests to take part and to participate, and it is in much more basic things. For example, it is an obligation of every parish priest to attend his sick people, elderly, to be with them or to attend them or to care for them spiritually. And sadly, it simply does not work, and so many still believe that yes, I'm a good priest and I'm too busy to do these things, and so it is a real obligation that is really part of the priestly life and priestly mission. But it is clearly defined in the canon law, and so the failing is a failure against the law.
Well, on behalf of St. Gabriel's Newsroom, I want to thank you for your comments, and I also want to thank you for coming out every year. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.